Hello and welcome back. Today we're sculpting feet, but before we start, let me show you two things. So these are not my characters, these are from League of Legends Cinematic, and they are giving them for free for everyone to learn from them. And before I sculpt feet on a tutorial, let me show how they did in a professional model. So let me just hide the shoes, and you can see this model doesn't even have feet. And this model have feet, but they're definitely not perfect condition. So I don't really recommend sculpting feet, especially with toes. I recommend doing just the feet form, so it's much easier for you to fit the shoes on the model. But of course, if your model doesn't have a footwear, that's fine, you can sculpt toes. So yeah, I just wanted to show you this, and okay guys, let's go to the tutorial. Okay, so let's not wait for anything and let's start. First, I'm gonna press Shift A and import the reference image. Find the image which you need and load it. Now it's gonna be put into your view. Just let me turn on the screencast key so you can see what I'm pressing. I'm holding Alt and pressing R and J to position it in neutral position. Then I press R and X to rotate it on X-axis and write number 90 and enter. Now I'm gonna G and move it on the Y-axis and a back. And this is how I set up my images. You can save the file. Let's start by importing a cylinder. I'm going to press S and Z to scale it on Z axis. Go into side view and rotate it. So we have a beginning like this. I'm gonna scale on X a little bit. And now I will have to press Ctrl A and apply all transforms and go into the sculpting mode. Okay, let me turn on screencast keys on this screen. Delete my old annotations and let's go with the sculpting. So first I'm gonna remesh with not too many vertices, 20,000. Go to smooth by holding shift and dragging. Now many people ask why my shift smooth is not working. Is that some of the brushes tools you choose don't have a smoothing option. So let's say if you have a bounding box, you can see it's not smoothing anything. Now if I go back to grab tool, you can see the smooth brush does work. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in the side view and position the foot. The first shape which I'm keeping my eyes on is the whole shape of the feet, how it flows. So you can see it's a very straight line. What I mean is it doesn't have any bumps. It's very flowy. And on this side, it has a one cut. But first, let's focus on this one. Okay, so I'm gonna take my grabbing tool and just move it back in the position. Now when you move only to the side view, always go into the front view and see how it's looking, because you will only be working on the side and you will not know what's happening in another view. Now when I have this simple not finished shape, I'm gonna use a B shortcut for box mask and mask the top. I'm gonna press M and add a little bit to the sides. A to sharpen the mask. And now smooth a few times. Go side view and invert the mask. And I will be using the transpose tool and move it a bit higher. Now in the sculpting, set pivot and unmask. You can use a scale and have the top flat. We can use move and move it back to the top. Now I'm going to clear the mask. And with the grabbing tool, going to move it a bit in the position. Smooth the sides first before remeshing. So we have a nicer flow. Now I'm going to remesh because I'm smoothing the top. Okay, and let's now try to get that first shape we were looking on. I'm gonna go into top view by pressing 7 and change the view side by pressing 9. So this is gonna be a bottom view, or just press on this. And I'm going to drag the front. And now ship the foot itself. What you have to keep in mind is that the back of the foot is more narrow. It extends at the front. So this line is shorter than this one. So I'm gonna move back. Now this on a small toe side foot is very, as you can see in this image, it's very straightforward. There's no bumpiness happening here. On in here you can see more than one thing happening, but on that side it's literally almost a straight line. Now I made the back a bit too thick, so I'm making it smaller using a lot of smooth brush and shaping the front. Now I think the front is not that difficult to understand. It's just the smaller toes are at the back and a nice shape line. That's what I'm trying to achieve. Okay. Let me hide this annotation. Let me go back into the bottom view. Now this part is definitely not gonna be a sharp cube shape. It's gonna have oval, spherical shape. And we have a nice neutral shape. Of course, I don't have the top. I made it too small. I'm going to increase it and have that nice line. As well as I talked about the back. That it goes here and bumps. Now, as you can see in this tendons, this is where the tendons goes, and you can see it's not in a straight line. That's why it curves in that place, because it rotates from that. So, but this shape is not too extremely important. Okay, now the back of the foot. It's pretty simple as well. Let me go back. Maybe we can see a bit better on this one. Sorry about the resolution. As you can see, we have one hourglass shape. Let me just finish drawing, maybe it's more understandable. Hourglass. And these two parts have dents in them. And our foot is straight on cube shape for now. So I'm gonna use clay strips and carve in some of the shape. When I'm carving it, the line, you can see I make a bit of half moon or sphere cut shape, just like in our hourglass. Now when I finish shaping the front, both of the sides, as well as I talked, they have these dents in, and these dents happens in both front and the back. Maybe you can see better at this sculpted reference image that from our hourglass we still have a lot of cut shape in here, as well as in this big round shape. Same goes into the back. As you can see, there's a lot of cut shape in here. So I'm using clay strips to cut off the shape. Now at the smaller toe side, you saw that from the whole foot length it's carved in. That's what I'm trying to do. And here it's not that far, around 1/3 of the foot. Okay. Now, as I was showing on this one where it ends, we can very clearly see that the foot has a dent. And we all know this dent. So let's make it in. Again, clay strips. And I'm shaping it more from where I made this cut. I just draw it down and cut off. It's not really that deep, but it is still going under. I'm going to smooth. Now I want to check the bottom view. I saw that my heel is very cube shape, very half corner, so I'm making it a bit more roundish. Yeah, okay. Now if we look at the front view, we can see some things which are not, shouldn't be there. So the thirst. Okay, where's my annotations? You can see that This is a round shape, but usually this side is higher than this. And on mine, I have this strange shape in here. It's probably when I formed on the side view and using a grab brush tool, I formed this. So maybe I can press 3 and 9 to move to another side and move with the grab, or just use a clay strips. Now, as you can see, I don't add where the toe starts, and you can see in this reference again, it stops around where the toes start. It's very visible on this one from how the shadows are formed. Beam in here. It's even not even at the toes. It's a bit closer or further, however you wanna look at it. Clay strips. I carved in this out, again the shape, bit out of here. Okay, front view, and I see that my foot is very wobbly at the bottom. I'm going to try drag the front. Now the foot, as I told, it's pretty flat. I'm trying to flatten it by small brush strokes down. Let's move to another side by pressing 9. Drag it down. Again, the shape. Yeah. Maybe I made it a bit too high. Now if you can't achieve the flat surface at the bottom, we can do a little bit of a hacking. I'm gonna use B for box, mask, draw from the bottom, and have this dark area. Now invert the mask. I'm gonna smooth and sharpen, smooth, sharpen, smooth. And gonna go into use transpose tool, move it a bit down. Now, again, sculpt, set pivot to unmasked, and use the scale. And with the blue one, I'm gonna drag into the center, and I have this now a perfectly flat surface. I'm gonna clear the mask, and don't forget to change back to a brush, because on this one your shift not doing anything. So go back to clay strips and smooth. All right. Now, as you can see, we did something strange in here. So let's go back and take a look at how it should be. Okay. Where's my annotations? Maybe I should get a new one already. Let's make this pinkish. This shape. Now mine is more like this, which is not going to work. It's even more drastic. So let's drag this one out. All right. My lovely shift smoothing brush again into the work. Now, bones are very simple shapes. Let's use that pinkish. Just two big bumps. As we can see in our lovely reference, where was it? Okay. The inner side, or the big toe side, the bone is higher than the small toe side. Okay, where is my sculpt? I think I made this too thick at the end. Smooth, smooth. Clay strips, and again, this one is higher than another side. So just a bubble shape. Bubble shape in here too. What we can do is use draw sharp and carve in the side, and with the crease brush, crease the crevices and smooth. The smooth brush won't deplete the shape too much. Now we have this weird bump, which I don't see on the reference. Something happened, so I'm going to drag in. And voila, it disappeared. Magic trick. Okay, I think I made this too thick. So I'm gonna drag it a bit in. Now it's more like, I think this is wrong, I think this is wrong. But if you're not sure about what is wrong, take a look at the reference. It takes only 1 second to see what's happening. Okay, I think I need more mass at the side. Boom. Now we can shape a bit of the bottom. I really don't do, well, I don't do a lot of work at the bottom because it's usually you're standing on the surface and it's flat. But I'm gonna make this maybe a bit nicer flowing shape. Now with the draw sharp, I can mark my toes. Wait, okay, I'm gonna save because we definitely forgot to save, and remesh it. Okay, crease brush. I'm gonna crease my cut. All right, and now with the clay strips, I'm gonna add a very, very small layer of mass on top, so it's not completely flat. And yeah, basically we're done with this simple foot. Now maybe made this too low. I can drag it a bit high, and this one too high. Drag it a bit down. All right. Oh, pretty easy feet shape. Okay, if this is where you want to end your foot, that's fine. Now if you stayed, let's keep going. Save file, never forget to save, it's very important. It's probably more important than sculpting because you're gonna lose your project. That's not gonna be fun. Alright, so we marked our toe shape. Alright, by holding Ctrl and Shift, as you can see, and dragging with your mouse, of course you have to activate your mouse too, we can do this nice masking. Now I'm gonna sharpen smooth. So what I do, I hold my A and draw top and release my A, and I do this quickly, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, and I have this nice clean shaped mask. Now this operation can be a bit laggy, so I definitely recommend saving again. Panic save, and at the mask options there's mask slice. and fill holes. You can mask slice, but you'll have an empty place, so we need to fill those holes. And now if the color of your sculpt changed, that's totally fine. Just clear the mask and remesh and it should be fixed. I think I'm using the wrong matte cap. Okay, this matte cap is not bad, but let's just change so our eyes can look at the object a bit differently. Alright. This seems pretty nice. Maybe we can make it a bit darker. Okay, so now let's move this. Just simple smooth. Oh, I have artifact. What I'm gonna do is just remesh again and it's gone. Alright, smooth, smooth. And time to shape those toes. Okay, so again, Ctrl Shift Hold and with the mouse, boom, mask. And I'm going to just drag out our big lovely toe. Now I probably need one more reference, so I'm gonna back to object mode and just select Shift duplicate, drag on X, drag on Z. Now rotate by 90 degrees and position it at the bottom view. Perfectly fine. Now you can flip it by pressing Ctrl and M. And now release everything and press which axis you want to mirror it. So I'm mirroring it on X axis and it flips it on the X axis. Okay, I'm just gonna go back here. All right. Let's start shaping our foot. So select the object, sculpting mode. And just take a look how everything is happening. And try to shape something similar. Okay, let's clear the mask now and remesh because definitely lacking some mesh in here. Of course, again, moving. Now definitely our toes doesn't defy gravity and fly off. So I'm gonna go and drag it back to the floor because it supports us, supports our weight. Front view. Drag another side. And just position it. Okay, it's not very visible with this matte cap. Let's try other one. We can look at those grid lines and they might guide us a little bit. Now with the clay strip, as you can see, the nail is digged in the mesh. And we have this bumpiness happening over here, and it happens with every single toe. So that's why by using clay strips, I'm just gonna shape that form. Maybe gonna remesh it again. I think it's time to add a little bit of more of resolution. I cannot see my... Wait, what's happening? Okay. I'm going to use a bit more vertices, 100,000. I think that's still reasonable. Now, there are two shapes for toes bottom. I don't really have a reference in here, But the big toe and small toe is the separation between foot and a toe is almost non-existent. So you can have it very close, but for another, they will have this big difference from top and bottom. But we will see that soon. Now the top can be shaped into, you can see this one has 2 bumps and 3 different lines. This one has 2 lines, 1 bump. But literally they almost are not that visible on the real foot, as you can see in this one. All right. We'll still have this 1 bump because it's nice. And on a sculpt, it's better to have a bit more detail than being a bit lazy or just not caring about them. I'm gonna carve in the nail place. Just add some mass around it. Now this side of the mass is actually shaping your toe a little bit. So we have to keep that in mind. Alright, now I'm just dragging, we have this line. My toe is not like this. Having someone not cleaned their toes and got a bump. Alright, move. Now clip strips, I'm going to add something like a nail, but this is not actually going to be nail, it's just for our forms. Let's check what's happening at the front view. I think it's doing pretty well. Fine, just drag it a bit higher. And it's really like which toe shape prefer, a cube, this sharper shape, whichever one you like, you can do the way I do. Probably going to be easiest to follow. I'll draw sharp. I just want to have that nice place this has, so we can kind of see the separation. Okay, draw. You can use a crease. Shift and C is crease brush shortcut. All right. Oh, we'll care about other things a bit later. Oh, the bottom view. We forgot the bottom view. Clay strips. I can see that there's more light in here, which means it's higher on top, and this is in the shadow, so it's further down. Let's get this almost equal lighting on our nice toe. All right. Looks pretty nice. Now let's utilize some tools you've probably never been utilizing before. But first, I think this is too high. I'm gonna drag it a bit down. I made it so tall. Okay. So what we're gonna use is mask. Press M for the mask. F, of course, is for shaping our radius. And I'm going to mask this area. Now my mask is not very visible. I don't know why Blender masks are not that visible, so I always like to sharpen them. Okay, now I can see what's happening. I'm gonna grow the mask because it's too small. Maybe I made it a bit too big. And invert. Now lovely transpose tools, so you don't actually need to click on anything. You can have just drag it I don't even need to select the model. I can be literally anywhere. Oh, look what's here. Drag. I can't. It's working. Don't have to like. Okay, I get it, boys. No, you just can move it from anywhere. Bam. Down view. Another floating toe. Let's drag it back down to the gravity. And clear the mask. Ooh, not clear the mask. Control back what we have done. Top view. We made them too close. Now we can clear the mask. Probably gonna drag this one a bit here. And try remeasure. Oh, okay, they did not connect. Save the file again. Smooth. Smooth, smooth. Now, not like a feet shape where, or actually kind of like a feet shape. Okay, where is our annotation? This line is smaller than this line. As we can see, we have a thicker top. But what I think is our front is too small. Okay, we can use a mask again. Don't forget, Control Shift and drag it here. Boom, mask. Now we can work without worrying about messing up our lovely big toe. At the bottom, I shape only the front, not the whole toe. Of course, we want to have that bumpiness, separation, which we saw right here. Ding, ding, boom. Okay, but hold this one as the second bump and this one as your first. So we're only making one. This one is already made. Making this line more straight. And definitely not a cube. We need that round, nice shape. All right. I'm gonna make this side again thicker. Now I see there's a more lighter area in this place. So I'm gonna add a bit of more mass in here. Of course, let's not forget that lovely shapes we draw. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Maybe we can add a bit more. Just maybe. You can stop when you think it's time to stop. Oh. Wow, this is so flat. We need more. Now I just try to make everything smooth spherical shape. Of course, not too sphere. You don't need spheres. Now I see this unnatural separation, so I'm gonna use clay strips and just drag this tension line, which we can see at big toe. One tension line. Add here. Why it's not visible? Okay. Add here, we can see. Maybe I should make it darker now. So the smallers have 1, 2. Probably drew it understandably, but ooh, you see, there's still some separation in the form. So grab tool, bump. Now it's same. All right. Let's call it done with the first one. Maybe I have it a bit too high, so let's just move it a bit. All right. Maybe I made it a bit too long, no? Okay, now what we can do is make a face set from this one, which will be very helpful on our journey. So I'm gonna press W and face set from mask, and now we have a face set. Let's clear the mask, and it visually might be bugging you out, so you can go into the view and just turn off the face sets, and now you won't see it, but it's here. And we can easily work like this through all the toes. Okay, now let's do the same by creating another toe. If you didn't forget, mask, we draw it. Now sharpen the mask, see how it looks. Oh, what is that? What is that? I'm trying to smooth and it's not working, you see? So I got a mask too. I'm gonna use draw. Now smooth that crazy thing there. Okay, let's invert the mask and grabbing tool. Again. We don't care where we holding our pressing button. Let's not have it too close, but let's not have it too far, because those are actually touching each other most of the time. They're not lonely. Right. Clear the mask. I for inflate brush. And I just inflate the side, the end. I think we can use a remeasure now. Some smooth. And these two, those are kind of same shape, only these others. So we can see that. Let's add another color because we like colors. As you can see, this toe shape is unique for its own. Then these two toes have their own shape, and these two toes have their own shape. So this one can be same as this one. Okay. Let's do the same with face it. Wait. Oh. We forgot to on remeasure preserve face sets. So every time we will remesh, they will disappear. But it's fine. We're gonna make it at the end. So I'm just going to mask this toe and work on this one individually. Don't put it too close yet. We will do it later. Side view. Now, as you can see where the nail is, the toe drops down. Probably not as drastic as this one, but it definitely does drop down. And at the front view, we can see the inequalities. All right. Bubbly shape at the top. Bone. Straight shape, another bone. Clay strips, the tension line. And this is basically a bit of repeating the same thing. Clear our mask. Maybe made it a bit too small in here and too big in here. Let's save our file. I got my voice is dying. Alright, let's Make another toe. And for masking, sharpen the mask. Maybe a bit of the smooth. And at this point I can see that my toes will not fit. So what I will do, I will just make our feet a bit bigger. And I will make this side a bit smaller because I don't know why I made it so big. All right, we still have this mask. Invert the mask and use our lovely move brush. Drag it out. Now this one's gonna be definitely shorter. Side view, drag it to the bottom, and actually we can inflate a bit before unhiding the mask. Inflate, okay. Clear the mask, clear. I'm going to smooth so they don't touch. Remesh, and it's probably, yes, as you can see, it connects. Let's go back, let's save, and add a little bit more of resolution. I think we can do that. Let's see how much. Okay, that's way too much. Okay, that's more like it. Now we still have this. What we can do is use our Ctrl Shift again and mask this part. And use the tool, mask lights, fill codes. Okay, it's not working. Let's try smoothing. Clear the mask. They are definitely connected, so I don't know why it doesn't slice out. Let's try it again. After the smoothing. Okay, now it works. Clear the mask. Let's smooth them and remesh. Now they shouldn't be connected. Very nice. Let's shape this one. So you can see this more like a bump than this tic-tac-toe shape. So we're gonna shape that side higher, this one lower. Let's see the bottom view. All right. Side view. Maybe I will make this once higher. All right. Still have this one. Don't make them look like they're connected. They have separation. Maybe let's use draw sharp and draw that separation a bit more visible. Can we use the crease brush? And let's form where the nail should be sitting. All right. We have this too high, but we're gonna fix it anyways. Now we have an orc foot, 4 fingers. Let's add the small one. Of course, don't forget to save. Now we got it. What I'm gonna do is mask actually everything and use a lovely grab brush again. Now this one, as you can see, is very short. It ends almost at the middle. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna add it at the middle, of course, smooth. First, I'm gonna going to not put it so close so we can clear the mask and remesh. So we have the topology in here, which we usually won't. Okay. This still has the mine on his own. Let's put it back into place where it should be, touching the ground. Front view. So I can definitely agree that the small toe has this huge lower from the bump. Probably my bump is from another planet. All right. Now, as I talked about these three different shapes, I told that the small toe almost doesn't have a separation from the foot, so it will have this only one bump, which we got right here. Of course, let's not make these sharp lines. Let's script them out and smooth. Now, as you can see from our reference, let me add more colors because why not? All right. As you can see, the toe has this shape and this bump happening over here. So while keeping that in our lovely minds, use draw sharp and draw that shape. Let's move, of course. And let's make that the toe is touching the ground, the floor, or wherever that your model is walking on. Let's make that bump. Clear the mask. Smooth. Let's hide most of the things that we have. Okay, not the foot. All right, we have pretty nice looking feet with toes. Now I'm going to save. Smooth. Let's get our reference back. I can see that these ones are way lower than the top, and I think they're just in general too low because there should be a bony landmark in this place, just like on this one. And that's tension thingy, which with draw sharp, I'm gonna just like easily draw in. And now with the clay strips, I'm going to draw these tensions. You can even go into the toes. That's fine. And I'm going to smooth hard so they are not very visible. I definitely made the top way too tall. Drop them back and boom. Of course, a bit more smoothing. Now let's shape the bottom. So what I'm going to do is take a draw sharp and just draw something like this. Of course, our small Small toe needs to be close, as well as our big toe. Almost no separation in shape. Now, our other toes will have this separations. And let's just smooth. And of course, make this one more spherical shape. Gonna have a bit like this. Okay. Probably made this too high, so I'm gonna drag it down and add a bit more of the spherical shape. I'm gonna add some mass in here. All right, I think let's do a bit more work if you're feeling like it. If not, I think this foot is already pretty cool and amazing. But we can go to the bottom view and just add again a bit more of the bumpiness to the foot. Don't add too much. Don't add too much. Smooth, of course. Have that separation. And a bit more tweaking. Don't tweak blindly. Use reference. I'm looking at the reference. I'm just gonna take a crease brush and draw that separation. Not too hard, I probably drawn in too hard one time softly. We got it. Now, this is more like a game now, and just looking where the light is not working too well. And then going in and fixing it. But we're kind of done. We're kind of done. Just on this third shape I was talking about, this crease. I'm gonna add back this crease. Because I think it disappeared. All right. I hope you like this tutorial. I hope it's going to work for you, and I hope I see you in the next one. Okay, thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.